Okay, let's start.
All right, just say one.
One.
Good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages, welcome to the first official Unnyworld Dev podcast. I'm your host, Zion, and we have a wonderful show for you today. But first, let me introduce our guests. Some say that mosquitoes refuse to bite them purely out of respect. Some say that if they pat you on the back, that you will list it on your resume. Some say that they are considered national treasures in countries that they have not even visited yet. And some say that global warming will end just as soon as they put their shirts back on. So go ahead and introduce yourself to the podcast.
You first.
Hello, my name is Pavel. This is my colleague.
Hello.
Yeah, we are founders and creators of the Unnyworld, the game which you really like and enjoy. First of all, I wanted to say congratulations because today is not only our first podcast, but also the happy birthday of Unihawk. This is a company which we have created.
Hooray!
Yeah, actually,
Yay!
6 years ago, in 2011, we have released our first small indie games on the App Store. It wasn't official company yet, but yeah, it was our first indie game released. So, happy birthday again.
Yeah, we're six.
Awesome. All right, so you guys want to jump into the topics?
Yes, sure.
All right, so the first topic we have is new heroes. So who wants to start?
I can start. So, first of all, a lot of people have been asking us to add a lot of new characters since we have only 7 right now. So, we have started making 5 more heroes for you, and one of them is coming this week. His name is Duar. It's a brave warrior. His goal is to protect his teammates, like take damage and like put shields, stuff like this. So he's more like a support tank hero.
All right. And for you moviegoers out there, just picture Mel Gibson's William Wallace from Braveheart plus Russell Crowe's Gladiator from The Gladiator. This guy is like a mountain of manliness. He's a big buff tank. He's got a shield. He's got a spear. This guy is ready to do battle. Can't wait to see him in game.
Actually, I was playing it today, so
Yeah.
you should envy me now. Yeah, I'm sorry.
And I've recently posted his image on Discord channel, so join Discord to see some sneak peeks from the developers.
All right, yeah. So he's supposed to be a tank. So he's going to have a lot of passive buffs like healing and decrease damage, like defense buffs and like HP buffs and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
actually, he has a lot of armor, like resistance. His damage is not very high; it's low basically, but he's the first hero who has like passive buff, which heals him over time. So once
Right.
per 5 seconds, his hit points are growing, basically. Oh, by the way, I wanted to say thank you to a lot of to the audience who wrote us some advice and suggestions for this hero, because many of you wrote to us the spells which we need to use, and when the guy will be released, you will see some of your ideas implemented in the game.
Well, there you go. See, these guys do listen to your suggestions, so make sure you hit up the forums. So yeah, so he's the perfect character for capturing checkpoints and holding them down while you let the goblins do all the work. So he's going to really change up team dynamics. So he's going to be a support character. You already have tons of DPS characters like Yoji and stuff, so he's going to be a great addition to the team. And we also have other characters planned. So another one, Lamia, I believe her name is.
Yes,
Let's
correct.
talk a little bit about her.
She's the third sister of the water tribe, let's say like this. Yeah, she's the sister of Isna and Akia, but she's a blood mage. She learned how to control the blood of her opponents and her own. So during the game, she will work like a support damage dealer. She is stealing life from her opponents and like making them to suffer. Oh, she has one actually very interesting spell which she can use to heal her friends. She can connect a friend with an enemy, and so the life will be transferred from the enemy to the friend.
So she's a vampire.
Yeah.
And and it's perfect timing too because Halloween is right around the corner. So you're planning on releasing her right around Halloween or on Halloween?
Yes, actually, we were planning to release it by the end of October. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so high time for the Halloween.
All right. And while we're on the topic of Halloween, it's a perfect segue to talk about our second topic. So Halloween. So what are we planning for Halloween?
Yeah, it's a great holiday coming. A lot of people all over the world are celebrating it, so we have to come up with some ideas and use them in the game. So people will like dive into new adventures, maybe get some new skins for heroes, and maybe some quests, interesting tasks, something. So let's just discuss. Maybe some will shoot some ideas.
All right. So I had this idea, and you guys at home could help me out on this. So for some additional skins for some of the characters. So the idea here is to take like certain really popular movie characters and kind of blend them with the characters of Uniworld. So a popular one would be like a Nightmare Before Christmas with Jack Skellington. So he could possibly be like a Morth or something like that. And then, well, there's also Jason Voorhees. Don't forget him from I think Friday the 13th
Mm.
series. So he would make a perfect Morth. So he would have the face mask, he'd have a big knife, but I don't know exactly how because how the model works. He currently has a sword, so I don't know if he would be able to shorten it to make a knife. But another character is a character called Pyramid Head from the
Mm,
Silent Hill franchise.
that's my
And I
favorite.
think you can make a really awesome skin for Morth like that. So he has his giant knife, he's got this big helmet, really intimidating looking, but scare everybody. So be perfect submission for Halloween. But if you guys have any ideas out there, and you think you can help and come up with some creative skins for some of the other characters, be sure to let us know. So another one would be, or another idea for Halloween would be sales. So right now in the game there's different skins for the worlds, and one of them is like a Halloween themed skin. So what we could potentially do is like some kind of Steam sale, or maybe not Steam sale, but in the game where it's maybe reduced like by 25% off or 50% off or whatever, and it would be a limited time. So it would be like maybe a week or two. People could buy it out, get into the holiday spirit, fight under Halloween World. And another thing you could potentially do is for rewards for tournaments. So you hold tournaments every weekend, and what you could potentially do is like a bronze, gold, and silver medal thing. So the people who get first, which would be like a gold medal, might get like a free skin or might get a free world skin, something like that. And then maybe for second or third place, they can get a different skin or maybe some gems, and the gems could go to buying the skin. So the skin is like, let's say 2,000, and you do 25% off, so it'd be 1,500. Maybe they win 500 gems or something, so now it's cheaper to buy that skin. So that's another idea that you can implement. What do you think about that?
Actually, I was thinking that if we add some quests and put them like in the line, so
Mm-hmm.
like basically when you complete one quest, you jump into another one, and if you complete the whole sequence of the quests, you will get a good reward by the end. It might be
Right.
something like unique building, like with
Mm-hmm.
a pumpkin or anything like this, which you can put in your planet, which will just do nothing basically, just show that you have completed this task.
All right.
Talking about skins for the heroes, I was thinking actually to give something like candies, like a new currency, just for this event, and you can get those candies just by playing in arenas or invading other planets. And if you get enough candies, you can buy a skin for your hero, something like this. But probably you will have to play a lot of games to get a skin.
Yeah, yeah. So, for you guys at home, so when you win an arena, you're rewarded with medals, which helps you advance in your league. So, what it would kind of work like is next to your points for your league points, you'd also get this additional event currency, which could be like candy or something of that nature. And you would store them up and say the first reward prize would be like 3,000 of them or something. And that might unlock a skin, or it can unlock some kind of vanity item that you could put on display for your planet. So it's just like a show off decorative item. for you to check out. So it could be like a pumpkin, or it could be a scarecrow, something along those lines. But if you save up a lot by playing a lot of different games, maybe you could buy a skin or something. So that's a fantastic idea. So what
Actually,
else should we do?
I was also thinking about some funny achievements. Just imagine, you might, besides of candies, you might get a small pumpkin, which you can throw at your opponent, and if you hit your opponent with the pumpkin, it will be put on his head. So Akia will be running with the pumpkin instead of her head for maybe several seconds. And one of the is, first of all, it's just funny, just to see how it's working. And also there will be achievement that you need to put pumpkin on the head of each type of the heroes from the enemy team.
So
Now that you bring that up,
Yoju with a pumpkin on his head will just get two of them, like one
Yeah,
on
actually,
top of another.
we already have a Halloween skin for Yoji with the pumpkin. So this is the only tricky person right now, because he already has it on his head.
Yeah, it will be our actually second Halloween event for players.
So another idea I had is, because you just brought up with the whole pumpkin on the head, you could potentially do like collectibles, kind of like what Team Fortress 2 does, where you can earn like holiday hats. So maybe you can get like a pumpkin hat head, and then you could equip it to any character. But I don't know how technically advanced.
Yeah, it's much harder. First of all, we will have to draw a lot of UI just to support items like this. For pumpkin, I mentioned it's not a big deal because it's just a spell. Basically, you just need to draw a gesture, special gesture for the event. So he will throw the pumpkin.
Oh yeah, that sounds a little bit easier. Maybe you have another one where someone gets zapped and they turn into like a skeleton, or
Oh,
someone get with like a green spell and they turn into like a Frankenstein. So there's all kinds of ideas that you can do.
actually, I was thinking also about putting in a new arena, so we can discuss maybe some rules. Do you have maybe ideas? Just what should you do on that arena? Something like Halloweenish thing.
All right, yeah, that sounds like. And you know what you could do? Well, for a long time, people have been talking about like cooperative battles. So instead of working against and playing PvP, maybe you could have something where it's like an arena, and you join, and maybe you have like a boss, and it's like the Pumpkin King, and he summons skeleton minions, and people have to work together to fight that off, and maybe you get rewarded additional candy or something.
Yes, actually, that sounds interesting.
All right. So
So it's like dungeon from World of Warcraft, basically, right?
yeah. That's exactly what I'm talking about. So and you can have like graves and stuff, and maybe monsters pop out of the graves and stuff. So like zombies can come out. So there's all kinds of maybe booby traps. So if you turn a corner or something, like a crow will fly at you. There's all kinds of things that you can implement. So
I think technically we can do that. I mean, there are no limitations for this thing. And honestly, people were requesting like PvE mode with dungeons and stuff. So we can use Halloween as a like soft launch for the dungeons and PvE mode. So if it goes well, then yes, we can implement the fully PvE mode for like with many dungeons, different bosses like loot, gems and stuff like this. Yeah, it's a good idea actually. Thank you. Because I was thinking before mostly about adding new arena with like PvP again, but probably PvE might work better.
hey, and another cool one. So you could have things that at first glance would seem to be part of like the background. So maybe you cross a pumpkin patch, and these pumpkins are like rooted in the ground, and then they come out, and like the roots are like tentacles, and then they have like a face, and they kind of like open up. They got like jaws and stuff. So they're like monsters that emerge from the environment. So like I was saying before, like zombies that pop out of the graves and stuff like that. There's all kinds of things that you could do.
Actually, do you remember that we have 4 monsters right now whom you can hire to protect your village? Honestly, you can hire only 2, and 2 of them are not available. But if you take a look at those, they all have pumpkins. They look like pumpkins. First one actually is a pumpkin thrower. He has pumpkin in his hand. And another one just like pumpkin with legs. So probably we can add those mobs as well, because like It's like Halloween stuff.
Hmm. I mean, you could always retexture them. I can't imagine.
Yeah, true. I hope our artist is looking for the podcast as well.
All right, so you want to move on to the next topic then?
Sure.
All right, so third topic is Planet Edit. So we've already kind of given away a few ideas relevant to Planet Edit. So how about you talk about what exactly Planet Edit is going to be all about?
So the problem people are facing that when they invade other planets, they all look the same. Towers are standing at the same positions. Like the only what changes skins sometimes, but not all the time. And also people were requesting us to improve this invasion mode, which we're doing right now. But I was thinking that even if we improve invasion mode and let like cooperative mode, like 3 people are fighting, invading one planet, that sounds like fun. But if you face the same problem that all planets are the same all the time, the fun might just disappear basically. Yes, thank you. So what we want is to let people change the planet in any way they want. Basically, you can remove or add mountains, like change textures like grass and mountain, like snow, anything you want, and also change the location of your environment, like draw the roads, change the walls where they're located. So basically, you can do anything you want with the planet. Just move anything. Yes.
Right, so if you are actually in the game right now, you'll notice how there's 3 different gates. So there's one on the south side of town, east and west. So if I understand correctly, the idea was to allow you to be able to assault the town from any direction. So it's not just one.
Yes, initially that was an idea, but we like got rid of that idea eventually in the past. So I'm not sure how it's going to work now. I'm talking about cooperative mode, but what I'm sure that we will let people decide where the enemies will appear, and they will like build the road, so the path, how your enemies will walk to your town hall, which you need to protect, and that gives you a lot of flexibility in terms of locating your towers and other buildings, because we want other players, when they invade your planet, to be able to destroy everything, not just town hall. And the more building you destroy, the more resources you will steal. Something
All
like
right,
this.
so that actually brings up a good point. I'm glad you mentioned it. So you would have your rewards would scale based on the amount of damage you did. So if you didn't destroy all the buildings and you only destroyed maybe 50%, you would only get 50% of the Acrian reserves.
Mm-hmm. Yes, actually, if you destroy a town hall, of course you will get a lot of Acum already, because it's like the place where the Acum is stored, and also you will get a victory for sure. But you might not get the whole amount of Acum if you let other buildings stay. So your goal is to destroy everything. But as we mentioned before, you will not be alone, so it will be three players attacking. So you can like go separate ways. You can attack like town hall. Meanwhile, your friend will destroy mines. Another one will destroy barracks. So.
And to add another element of surprise, you could have things like runes in mines, where they would be invisible to the invader, but the player who places them knows exactly where they would be located. So you could place them on the road or nearby, like an important building or obstacle. And when they travel over it, it can explode and it could do things like, maybe AoE damage, where it harms all enemies within a certain radius, or maybe it has some status effect like slow or stun, something like that.
Or it can push you away from the planet.
to the orbit.
Actually, there was a funny bug in the past. So when you put Yoji near town hall and then click on town hall when it was scaling, so it was pushing Yoji, and Yoji was like
orbiting around.
Orbiting around the planet like in circles.
Yeah, that was fun. I even posted on our forum.
So amazing to see. Well, there's this thing called Gerbil Space Project, so the
Yoji Space Project.
Yeah, NASA definitely should call it that way.
So another thing we were talking about is perhaps putting certain like turrets on elevated platforms where they would maybe be either immune to damage or they would only be able to take damage through certain specific means, like maybe an ultimate attack or a ranged attack or something like that. But it would be immune to like the regular attack.
You're talking about additional towers, right? Like not.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's a
So
good idea. It will add a lot of flexibility in terms of planning your defense and also attack. And anyways, we have only 3 different types of towers right now, so we of course need to add something more.
Mm-hmm. So, and another thing you had mentioned is potentially giving some variety to the towers that are already there. So you would be able to pick like their status effect. So, you know, maybe a fire tower can burn, but maybe you could give it a different effect where maybe it deals extra damage or something like that.
Yeah, we were discussing with you this thing before, but it's like for the long future.
Distant future. All right. All right. But just to give these guys some ideas of where the game is eventually going to go in the future. So, but yeah, that's a really cool idea. So another cool one, where like with the ice tower, where it shoots the beam and freezes people. Maybe one of the effects is like you can increase its stun ability, where if it hits. Oh yeah, hold on. Getting a pop up here. Sorry.
Yeah.
Me too.
Does that mean we're running low on time?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So we should probably wrap this up. All right. So let me just finish this concept, and then we'll try to wrap this up. But the idea is like the ice tower, you can maybe increase its stun ability. So when it freezes people in line, maybe it'll encase them in like an ice cube, and it will freeze their motion so they can't move for like 5 seconds or something. So they would be vulnerable from attack from the other like the mortar and fire towers and other stuff. So that would be an idea. Or you could just increase its damage output, so its DPS would be increased, or so you would have these different options.
Yeah, so we were planning to extend the drop from the chests, not just scrolls, but maybe other like items which you can use. One of the items might be some maybe runes which you can put into tower to get the different buffs which you were just mentioning basically. And another feature, we were talking about runes for the heroes. So you will be able to maybe change some stats you want. It's like runes in League of Legends when you are planning how you want to use your character, more like defense style or attack style. So you can put either like plus armor or plus damage, something like this. But it's like in the future.
Right. All right. So that's cool. All right. So we have a few things that we want to talk about in terms of player submissions. So you guys at home, if there's any creative artists out there, we just started a forum for art submissions. So if you have fan art that you want to submit, go ahead and click the link in the description. And we have this forum. It's for art submissions, it's for gameplay footage, and it's also for questions. So for the fan art, what we want to do is have a segment called something like the appreciation of art. And what we're going to do is we're going to like create a theme, and this month's theme is going to be Halloween. So what we want to see is Halloween themed based on like different characters in the game. So like we were talking about before with Jason Voorhees, Morth, or A Nightmare Before Christmas, so a Jack Skeleton character, stuff like that. We want to see pictures of that. And what we're going to do when we get enough of them, we're going to showcase them and we're going to credit the authors. So if you want your name to be featured in the podcast, go ahead and make sure that you include your name in the post so we can credit you. The next thing we want to do is gameplay footage. So what we want to see is something along the lines of maybe you get a long kill streak in a battle, or maybe you're playing against really tough opponents and you just barely come out on top. Like your base is just about to be destroyed, and you pull out the victory with just a few seconds left or something. So that's what we want to see. We want to kind of limit those videos to be within the 30 to 60-second range so that they're not too long, so that we can be able to review them without taking up like an hour spending on just a single video. So we're going to call that play of the week. So we want to see the best play that was done for that week. And then the other thing we want to do is an AMA, which means ask me anything. So what you would do is submit your questions for the developers, and you can ask them just about anything that you want. It doesn't have to be relevant to Unnyworld. So it could be your favorite color, your favorite movie, what's your favorite food.
There is one exception. Don't ask us about like promo codes, please.
Yeah, no questions about promo codes. So, But yeah, it could be about anything. And what we'll do is we'll gather them up and we'll just do a podcast where we just answer player submitted questions and stuff like that. So, any final thoughts before we
So
close
the
the call?
goal of everything what we were just talking about is to increase your engagement and our engagement. So we want to start communicating with you as much as possible, just getting feedback from you, improving the game together. And we want to appreciate your work in any different ways. Like it can be some featuring on podcast, or your name will be put somewhere in the game, for example. Or you might get a promo code if you do a really good job with the art.
All right, so this is a way to get back to you guys, the community that has helped support this game. And on that note, we've just started a Patreon. So if you guys are feeling extra generous, you could go ahead and click the link below. So that will take you to Patreon, and every dollar helps. We'll take anything that we can get, and the more money we make, the more we can produce features as quickly as possible. So if you guys love the game and you want to see this game succeed and grow, and go ahead and click the link below. We also have the Founders Pack available in the Steam store, so you guys can go ahead and help us out by purchasing that. So, was there anything else you guys want to mention before we close out this video?
Thank you very much for listening.
Yeah, and don't forget that next Saturday we're having like a series of war matches again, as usual. I'll be hosting them on Twitch along with my partner Pavel. So I'll be on North American server and Pavel will be on the Europe server. So just can't wait to see you there.
All right, you guys look forward to that. And I guess we'll see you next time on the second edition of the official Uniworld podcast. So, us here at Unihog just want to wish everybody to have a very beautiful day.
Have a good day.
Have a good day.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Bye bye.
You guys.
What should I stop first? Streaming?